She is a former stage magician and stage hypnotist. He was voted Variety Entertainer of the Year in the Excellence in the Arts Awards. Did we mention they also used to be married to each other? Now they have rejoined forces for a talk radio show?
You know, one thing they didn't address in this poll, that's crossover sex. They completely ignored the value and excitement of hate sex.
You're big on that, aren't you? You're big on that.
Well, I hate to brag, but I've had a couple grudge sessions in my life.
Uh-huh.
From the East Coast to the West, all across America, two voices of logic and reason. Live from the entertainment capital of the world, Victoria Wayne and Doug Basham. They are X's on the air.
Well, let's have at it, folks. It's another wayward, wicked day here in Las Vegas. If you've got some time, hey, let's talk. And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Doug Basham.
And I'm Victoria Wayne, and welcome to another unpredictable edition of X's on the Air.
That's right, folks. And contemplate this. We were divorced for what, 15, 16 years?
16,
Somewhere
17
around
years.
there. During that time, we had absolutely no contact with each other whatsoever. Not a phone call, not an email, not even a tweet. If I saw you on the street, I started running.
That's right, you did.
And yet, here we are now, reunited as co-host on the air to bring you folks your weekly reality radio show, whereupon we take a look at the lighter side of the news most of the time.
Uh-huh.
The website is www.x's, that's E-X-S, xsontheair.com. The address to email us on the air or off is show@xsontheair.com. And while you're at our website, look for the links to both our Facebook and Twitter pages. Follow us on Twitter. Be our friend on Facebook. Well, V, any news stories happen to catch your attention this week?
Not this week.
Not this week?
Not this week.
Well, ironically, there were several that caught mine.
Yes, I'm sure.
And we will get to at least some of them momentarily.
But before we do that, let me remind you that any of our stories that we do discuss on the show, that we have the full story on our website. And again, that's xsontheair.com. And our website is also a blog, which means that you can post your comments on any of the stories that you hear us talk about.
Or you can just call us at some point during this hour while we're on the air and give us your take on them in person.
Please do. Our number here at the station is 257-KDWN. That's 257-5396.
Atta girl.
Or you can email us at show at xsontheair.com. I'm always confused at that. Show at xsontheair.com.
You said the same thing like 2 minutes ago and you did it perfectly.
Yeah, I know. I always stumble over that.
The second time.
The second time I stumble over it,
Well,
yes.
by the way, V,
Yes.
you know what yesterday was? Yesterday was National Ask a Stupid Question Day.
Was it?
Yep, that's a holiday that's celebrated primarily here in the United States. The default date is September 28th.
And I'm sure you celebrated.
Well, I celebrate that day every day.
It's true.
I try to ask at least one dumb question daily.
That does not surprise me.
Or is that hourly? Whatever the case, it's mostly celebrated by students and teachers.
Uh-huh.
And the default date is September 28th, but most often it is celebrated on the final Friday of the month. Yesterday was both September the 28th and the final Friday.
Well, how about that?
And I thought I would begin the show by asking a dumb question, but I'm going to do it in the context of a brief segment, hopefully, we call This Week in Colonics. Now,
Yes, what's your question?
my question is,
Yes,
prior to last week, you went and had 3 colonics.
I did, and I had 3
Last
the week
week,
before.
you went and had 3 more.
Yes, yes, yes.
How many did you have this week?
This week, I had 2.
2.
I had 2 this week, yes.
Now, I have a question.
Yes, ask me.
After 6 colonics,
Yes.
what could possibly be left?
Actually, 8.
I mean, Well, no, okay, but I was asking in context why you went back for 2 more this week.
Oh,
Because after 6, I would think that anything they were going to get would have been gotten. I'm starting to suspect you're going there just for the thrill of having somebody, you know.
No, nobody, I'm the one that does that. Nobody does that. Michelle hands you
The tube?
the tube and you take care of it yourself.
It's a self-insertion deal,
Yes, and it's,
much
they-
like my sex life.
you're given a glove with lubricant and it's all done very, it's very clean and neat and quickly. And
Very sterile.
very sterile, you bet. They're unbelievably clean.
You know, I don't know anybody in the history of civilization that has had 8 colonics in 3 weeks.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely. I did it about 7 years ago. I went and had, I think I had 15 done in 30 days. Yes. So
15
I'm
in
slowing down on this.
30 days?
Yes.
You're going to be just a former shell of yourself.
No, I feel better. I physically feel better. It's a great experience. I'm telling you, I keep going back just for the soup.
Now, let me
For the
ask you,
soup alone.
what do they recommend is the advisable number of I mean, I'm sure they don't say get 3 a week.
Well, no, they, I think they say do 3 together. You can buy packages. It's the least expensive place in all of Las Vegas to get this done. It's like, for the first colonic, I think they charge $50 I paid. So it's the least expensive. Then they want you, if you so choose, to buy a package. Packages are like 3 of them, or 6 of them, or 12 of them. And you choose, depending upon how blocked you feel, how sluggish you feel, and you feel better. I mean, I'm telling you, if anyone's interested in getting a colonic, go call Donna. She's at Las Vegas Colon Hydrotherapy, and just ask for Donna, and she takes care of you, and you feel fantastic.
And what is Donna's number?
I'm very.
257.
No, that's the radio station.
Okay.
But I'm glad you asked that.
I thought you would have the number handy. But when you say call Donna, it's always advisable to have Donna's number at the ready.
I do have that number handy. Can you see it? It is 471.
471-0088.
Yes.
That's Donna at Las Vegas Colon Hydrotherapy. Call now, 471-0088.
Yes.
V, I got a question for you.
Ask me.
Back when you were still a kid, let's say middle to late teens,
Uh-huh.
did you, I mean, we've all done stupid things, especially back in our younger days. But did you do anything back then, say middle to late teens, that you would describe as either risky or dangerous?
I remember the time that I mixed meat and dairy together. Thought my parents were going to kill me.
Now, which category does that fall into, risky or dangerous?
It was dangerous to have to face my parents after that, and it was a risky thing. No, I grew up in a bubble. My parents didn't leave me out of their sight. I wasn't allowed friends. I wasn't allowed to go play. I was allowed nothing. I stayed in the house and was their little princess.
Well, you know, I mean, we both know that both of your parents have passed.
Yes.
You're allowed to have friends now.
Am I?
Yes.
Where do I go? Where do I go for that exactly?
Me, I use the Yellow Pages for escorts. No, the reason I ask is because
Yes, something
I
risky.
saw a bunch of stories today that kind of involve, shall we say, quote unquote, today's generation. And I found them kind of shocking. Here's a story from Ohio. It happened on Sunday, a week ago tomorrow. This 16-year-old high school student decides to go car surfing.
I don't know what that is.
Well, that's when you go surfing, but instead of riding waves on a surfboard, you get up on top of the roof of a car and the guy drives the car. So
Well,
you surf the road
That's
on the top of
insane.
the car.
That's pretty insane, yes.
They're doing this in a Walmart parking lot.
Okay. Yes, go on.
I thought only Troy would laugh at that.
Why would Troy laugh at the Walmart parking lot?
Earlier we had a conversation, and I had said something, you repeated back to Troy, and you said he laughed and thought it was very funny, and I said, no, it was an insult.
Oh, the thing about dinosaurs,
That's
yes.
why I'm...
Okay, go on, go on.
Kettle loses something in the explanation. Anyhow,
Yes.
they're doing this in a Walmart parking lot.
Yes.
He falls off the roof, hits his head on the pavement, and dies as a result of his injuries.
Falls off the roof of the car and falls in the parking lot of Walmart.
Onto the pavement.
Yes, and he's
Severe
gone.
head injuries.
Yes,
He dies.
okay. The family's gonna sue Walmart probably.
Probably. But
Well, security should have stopped
But
them.
my point is,
Yes.
did you ever do anything? I mean, when I first got my driver's license, I had a tendency to maybe drive a little faster than I should have because it was new and it was exciting. But I got wrecked enough on my bicycle that the thought of car surfing or something that dangerous never even occurred to me. I never even heard of that being done.
No, I've never heard of that being done.
You hadn't heard of it up until today.
Not until a couple of seconds ago, right. I don't know, I tried to read the Torah from left to right and I got in trouble. I don't know, nothing.
Other than mixing deep meat and dairy.
Yes.
Deep and merry. Lovely couple. Did you do anything that you would consider risky or dangerous? What was the most risky or dangerous thing you ever did as a teenager?
Oh, I'm telling you, that I wasn't allowed out of the house.
That was it?
Yes, I wasn't allowed,
You weren't allowed to go to school?
I went to school,
Well, there
but
was times you could get in trouble doing
no,
that.
I never spoke.
Unless they accompanied you to school.
They walked me.
But they didn't sit at the back of the classroom.
No, but I didn't say a word.
But you were just an angel. You never tried anything risky or
I
dangerous.
never said a word to anyone, and came right home, and I was a perfect mommy's little princess.
Wow.
Yeah, not out of choice. I was just so brainwashed by them that.
Okay, now I think you will find this story interesting.
Yes.
Kids are a little older this story. They're college students.
Well, wait. Deb, what did you do that was risky?
I didn't do much. I mean, when I turned 18 and it was time to experiment with alcohol, there were times I had a little too much to drink.
Now, I find that hard to
A
believe.
couple times. Oh yeah, back when it was new?
Really?
Absolutely.
See, I really didn't do that either. I didn't.
Wow.
My parents they would share a beer, and then they would offer me like a little thimbleful.
They would share a beer.
They would share a beer that's as much as my parents drank.
I don't know if that's cheap or romantic. Maybe an element of both.
And they gave me a sip, and that was it.
And how old were you when they started offering you sips?
Oh, a teenager,
Okay.
15, 16.
A couple times when I maybe had too much to drink, I drove when I should have. But I felt I was in enough control. But I mean, other than that, I didn't really do anything risky either.
Yeah.
I mean, this thought of car surfing?
Yeah, well, that's insane. That's
Okay.
insane.
Next story, college students. But they're still basically kids. This happened last weekend as well.
Yes.
A University of Tennessee fraternity is facing suspension after an alleged alcohol-related incident at the chapter's house on campus over the weekend. But wait till you hear what the alcohol-related incident was.
Yes.
These guys got together and they gave each other, are you ready?
I'm listening.
Wait for it,
Yes.
alcohol enemas. Ooh! That was so painful, even the walls are groaning. The walls. That was tacky. That wasn't meant to be.
Wait, that could be very, very dangerous.
This 20-year-old Alexander Broughton was dropped off at a university medical center around 1:30 a.m. Saturday. Hospital staff told Knoxville police that Broughton was in critical condition and unresponsive when he arrived, with a blood alcohol content level greater than 0.4, which is considered toxic and potentially deadly.
Yes.
So
Sure.
investigators go to the frat house and they find several other people passed out in the house for the same reason, alcohol enemas.
What were they thinking? What were they thinking?
Well, police said that the practice, they might have been doing it because the practice heightens and speeds up the process of alcohol entering the bloodstream because it bypasses the liver's filters. Well, that's good news for people with damaged livers. I can't drink. You got a tube? Really? Now, apparently, this isn't the first time that this chapter has been in trouble.
Okay.
That couple of years ago, they were placed on administrative suspension after a hazing incident where pledges were asked to do push-ups on broken glass.
You know, that whole hazing thing is so insane, and it's very disturbing. Like, I don't want if that's in a movie or something, I don't want to see it. It's
Some people would say the whole frat scene
Yes,
is
it's
insane.
very
Forget the hazing.
disturbing, yes.
You know, there's nothing gay about frats. You know, now quiet down while I shove this up your butt. You know, that's almost Liberace gay.
I
You know-
don't
you know what I'm
understand
saying?
it. Yes.
And
I guess. I
it
don't-
could almost pass for legitimate rape.
We're back on that!
Next,
Ah!
I always find a way to work it in.
You too.
Next thing you know, it'll be toy cars. But At least no sheep were harmed. You know, you and I both know, I don't drink that much.
No, not at all.
But whenever I do feel the need to get a buzz on, I'll just drink more the conventional way, thank you, and let
Yes.
the alcohol pass the liver's, you know, the filter of the liver and do its thing naturally.
A buzz on.
No,
That's funny.
Right, but I mean...
I know what you mean.
Is
No,
that-
I don't know. That's funny.
A buzz on.
But it's funny to hear you are so not a drinker. So it's just, you're
It
just...
doesn't mean I don't know the lingo. Or is that not the lingo?
I don't know. I just want a glass of wine. That's all I
But
know. That's the lingo for me.
My question is, how fast do you need a buzz to do something stupid like that?
I don't know. I don't get it.
I mean, drinking fast will do the same thing, it just takes a few minutes longer.
I don't do that either. I don't get it.
I guess we could call it butt chugging.
Ugh, I'm a slow drinker.
Kind of gives new meaning to the old phrase, bottoms up.
If you took me to happy hour, you would know that I'm a slow drinker.
Enemas, folks, it's not a race, it's a journey. Oh, and by the way, this story had another story there about young girls soaking tampons in vodka and inserting it as an alternative.
Where do you get these stories? Where do you get this? Where do you dig this up from?
I get this on the interwebs.
That is disgusting. Oh, no. Let's move on. You do not have a picture.
You
Tell me
notice
you don't have a picture.
I don't have a picture.
Thank goodness.
I was going to show you in person. No. You notice how her feathers didn't get ruffled when we're talking about the alcohol enemas, but all of a sudden we moved to
It's both disgusting.
vodka-soaked tampons, and now it's disgusting.
It's a horrible story. Let's move on. Let's move on. Oh.
Well, by the same token, V, if I brought a story here that said these pledges, don't read. I'll get to it when I'm ready.
Yeah,
You just mind your own beeswax.
I was trying to peek.
If I brought a story in that these pledges got into no trouble, went home to see their parents on the weekend and had apple pie and ice cream, what would the interest be?
Well, I don't understand the hazing thing anyway. How can you surrender yourself over to strangers because you want to be part of a club and, well, I'll do whatever they tell me to do. They want to stick this where and put what?
Some people surrender themselves to frat houses in an attempt to be wanted or needed. Others just keep a collection of their exes on hand. It's the same goal and the same need, just different methodologies.
No.
No?
No.
Okay, next story. This is an 18-year-old girl.
Yes.
She starts off by ramming her car into a police SUV. The policeman gets out, handcuffs her, sticks her in the back of the SUV. 2 minutes later, she manages to break out of her restraints, get out of the cage, she gets in the driver's seat, turns on the lights and the sirens, and takes off. And it leads to a chase that lasted a half an hour and reached speeds of up to 100 miles an hour, get this, through the mountains of Colorado.
Yeah.
You ever been through the mountains of Colorado? 100 miles an hour is a dangerous speed on a straightaway.
Yes.
Mountains of Colorado?
I understand.
So the cops tried several times to ram the girl off the road. Didn't work. They finally got her with a spike strip. Now she's pretty banged up, but she's okay. She's been charged with attempted vehicular assault on a peace officer, vehicular eluding, aggravated motor vehicle theft, resisting arrest, driving under the influence of alcohol and drugs, and reckless driving.
I was going to say, what alcohol and drugs was she on? That was what I was going to ask you. You know, last week was...
This is an 18-year-old. Think back to when you were 18. Did nothing like this ever happen to me?
Yeah, no, I know it, nor anyone I knew.
And you in your bubble,
yes,
you were lucky to get a sip of a shared beer.
Do you know last week, was it last week's show that you said, because I listened to it again, you said bath salts or something, and I didn't know what you were talking about.
Yeah, remember that story in Miami?
Right.
The fellow who chewed the other guy's face
But
out?
I had to ask somebody after the
The buzz was, he was on bath salts.
Yes, when you said it, I thought of bubble bath. I did not... I didn't know what you were talking
But that's
about.
my whole point. You take a new drug and give it an innocuous name like bath salts and no one takes it seriously.
Right, when I listened to it again, the show, that I understood.
They should call it the face chewing drug. It might have more impact. But bath salts, hey, what could be wrong with bath salts?
Yeah, these are insane people again.
Well, they got Thelma. What happened to Louise? Now, this story had a link to another story.
Oh, yippee!
It had a video.
Yes.
Another teenager.
Uh-huh.
Her name is Shelby Figueroa. She's picked up by the police. She's placed in handcuffs, hands behind the back, in handcuffs. Cop puts her in the back of the seat, starts to drive away.
Yes.
She lays down, kicks the window out of the back seat of the car. Oh, and by the way, the thing I forgot to mention, the cop gets on the highway and he's going 55 miles an hour. She kicks the back window out of the car, slithers herself out, and jumps out of the car at 55 miles per hour. A teenager. And you can see in the video, the cop goes away, but his camera is trained on the back so you can see what's going on. You see her rolling over the highway.
Well, these are people taking, you know, they're mind-altering drugs, and they're not thinking like a normal human being. And they were raised by monkeys or something as well, they must have been, I would assume so.
Yeah, I just find it amazing. Oh, by the way, I have a picture of, this is the one.
That's not Cindy Debbie.
No. I'm trying to figure out who. I don't know if this is the
That
first
was a private joke, folks. Yes.
Oh, this was the one that stole the cop car.
She's very pretty.
And after she hit the spike strip, the car rolled. That's why she's a little banged up.
And that's her after.
Yeah.
That's before and after.
This is after stealing the cop car, hitting the spike strip.
She looks
and
like a
rolling the
conservative,
car.
normal, nice person. You would never dream that she would be a lunatic.
Exactly. And yet, look
And then
what she did.
to risk her eyes and her vision and her limbs. Oh, ugh.
It's a different
Horrible.
generation, V.
I don't get it.
Where did we go wrong? I mean, you almost get the feeling that we missed something.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
It's a
perhaps,
different world.
thankfully so.
It's a different world, and it's scary.
Okay, I have an exit story here.
Yeah. Yes. Go on. I like that. No, I'm for it.
Here's what happened.
Yes.
Tuesday, John Vincent Caruso and his girlfriend, Stephanie Madwell, were having a very heated argument at their home. As people are wont to do when they become angry, Stephanie began swearing. You can relate to that. Apparently, they have young children. Now, whether they had them together or they were hers before they met,
Right.
the article wasn't clear, but there was young children living in the house with them.
Right.
At least one of them was a parent. Well, John wasn't happy with the possibility of Stephanie's loud swearing waking up the children. So he gave her a warning, much like the one I'm sure we all got when we were kids. If you don't watch your language, I'm going to wash your mouth out with soap. Did you ever get that one?
I never said a bad word, so no. But
Really?
I didn't do anything wrong as
Is
a
that
kid.
why you're making up for it now?
I don't say bad words.
What do you mean? You're always catching yourself on the air saying, oh, can I say that?
Well, words like poop and stuff like that I'm not sure of, that's all. Nothing
Who
terrible.
are you trying to kid? I talk to you off the air. I know how you talk.
What, do you think I talk badly? I speak
Well,
good.
I see.
Do you think that? I didn't know that.
No, the question, I can't answer in the context the way you asked, because I don't think including a little profanity in your language is necessarily bad. It's just the way of the world. And sometimes a point just cannot be made without using profanity.
Do I? Yes, but do I use that more than you do?
Not excessively. What do you mean more than I do?
Well, I just never thought about it. I never thought of it at all before.
That's because it's just a common practice.
I guess so. I guess
know.
so. I didn't know that I was doing that. I'll have to be more
And,
aware of it.
that leads to a question I have asked many times in the past. At what point in our history did somebody say, okay, poop is okay, but the S word isn't?
Oh, yeah.
I
But
mean,
we're all taught
where
that-
did all, yeah, but where did this originate?
I think my parents gave me a memo under my bedroom door of words I wasn't allowed to say, and I read it and went, okay.
Parents gave you memorandums under your bedroom door?
All the time,
No
yes.
wonder you ended up so dysfunctional.
I'm very functional.
Really?
I think I'm one of the most functional people, without a doubt, that I've ever met.
Wow.
I could tell you stories.
Memorandums under the door?
Yes, they did. Well, because I would lock myself in my bedroom all
I
day.
can just see picking up a note. It's time for bed. Good night. We love you. That kind of memo?
No, I was smothered. I was never...
But no. Have you
Oh.
never thought of that? Where in our history did someone decide that some words were going to be okay
Yes, yes,
and
I
others
understand.
are going to be quote-unquote profanity? Why should there be any restriction on any word? Why can't they all be okay?
Well, I guess. I don't know. I haven't given it any thought. But but I never knew that I was using words I shouldn't be using.
That's because, see, I never got the memorandums under the door. My mind is clear
No, I sure did.
to explore things like this.
I did. I got a list of do's and don'ts, and I was raised very black and white. I realized that by
Dear
people
Victoria, gone on vacation. The sitter will be here shortly.
No, I never had a babysitter. My parents wouldn't leave me with a babysitter. No.
Really?
Yeah. No, I was
Well,
very well supervised.
That's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, I would have liked some little separation from my parents, from here, here and there. I would have liked some
Well,
space.
yeah, true, but I mean, at least you know why they smothered you the way they did.
Out
I mean,
of
it was
love.
Out of protection and love.
Absolutely. Not necessarily a healthy way to raise a child, but
And they were so fond of you that rather than speak to you in person, they slipped memos under the door.
no, they spoke to me in person all the time. They would clip out articles from the newspaper and put them under my door about, they did it all the time, honestly, about people being murdered and slaughtered and all
What happened
that.
when it was time to eat? Did they only make a diet that could be slipped under the door? I mean, what
No,
if
I interacted with them. We had dinner and family night
you
every
actually
night.
sat down at the table? and ate dinner?
Absolutely, yes.
Every night?
Every night.
Nothing was slipped under the door.
No, just notes. I never thought about this being funny before, but just.
Wow, and that says a lot.
But it did make me, they were trying to warn me about what goes on in the world, and I wouldn't watch the news with them, and I would lock myself in the room, so they would cut out newspaper clippings about people being murdered or whatever was going
So
on.
even back then, you didn't like watching the news.
No, yeah, they
Wow.
yeah, they watch the news
And
constantly.
that's something that you have held forth all these years. Anyhow, folks, it is the bottom of the hour. We'll be back on the other side with more goodies just for your entertainment. You want to join us? 257-KDWN is the number. That's 257-5396. Back after this. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I just realized something.
Yes, tell me.
For the entirety of that break,
Yes.
I didn't have the microphones turned off. It's a good thing neither one of us said something.
Oh, really? I don't know anything about it.
I
but you're-
actually forgot to, I just want to turn them back on now. They were already on.
Yeah.
That's
your job.
amazing. Anyhow, folks, in case you have just joined us, the name of the show is X is on the Air. I'm Doug Basham. I am joined by my lovely, intelligent, and talented, somewhat dysfunctional co-host, Victoria Wayne.
I'm not dysfunctional in the least.
Whoa! As I speak, she is showing me a picture of a picture of me on her phone.
I just thought I'd share that.
Do I have anything on in that picture?
No.
Well, I didn't think there was anybody in this world that had more nude pictures of me than me. I may be wrong.
I
Anyhow-
just came across that and thought I would share it.
Wow. And I take it you took that picture.
I think you took it, actually.
Wait a minute.
I can't find
No.
it again.
Anyhow, folks, if you would like to join us, our number here at the station is 257-KDWN. That's 257-5396. And look, we understand that basically this station is, shall we say, a political show, and we're not doing a political show. However, you don't have to restrict your comments to what we talk about.
Right, we could do political, but you have insane views, so we won't.
Oh, you're so adorable. You're so adorable. Just throwing the people of the station the red meat thing. Oh, I love it.
Oh, no, it's what's in my...
That was such a subtle form of sucking up. I am proud.
Oh, no, it's what's in the heart of my bottom.
Oh.
It is my genuine, sincere thoughts that you have nutty views.
Adorable.
Yes,
Just
no
adorable.
doubt about it.
If you could see the
Nutty
look on her
views.
face right now, folks, you would be mouthing the words adorable at home. Perhaps even saying them aloud. Anyhow, the point is, if you want to discuss politics, we're not opposed to that. The reason we don't do it is because, quite frankly, it's hard to have an intelligent discussion about politics today. But if you'd like to attempt it, hey, we're open to that, aren't we?
Sure, we are, but, you know...
You with your lack of dysfunction and me with my nutty views,
That's right.
we can handle pretty much anything here.
That's right.
I would think so. So, folks, don't feel restricted or hindered or handcuffed in the back of a police car.
Yes.
Pick up the phone. I'm starting to sound like Jerry Lewis. we need a tote board.
Yes,
Call us at 257-KDWN. That's 257-5396 on topics we talk about or topics we don't.
yeah, absolutely anything.
You want to get political? Hey, go right ahead.
You want to ask questions about colonics? Go right ahead.
Please don't.
No, do.
Anyhow, I started a story before the bottom of the
Yes,
hour.
you did. I'm eager to hear the rest
A
of
couple
this.
having an argument.
Yes.
The woman starts swearing.
Yes, in front of the children.
Well, there were children present.
Yes.
Her boyfriend didn't want the children to be awakened by this loud profanity.
Oh, rightfully so.
He gave her a warning. Actually, he gave it to her 3 times.
No, this has something to do with soap.
If you don't watch your language,
Yes.
I'm going to wash your mouth out with soap.
Yes.
Well, what happened? She continued swearing. He went out, got a jar of liquid soap, came back in, grabbed her, and started squirting the soap down her throat.
Well, that's not okay. That's not okay.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, she slaps the soap bottle out of his way and kept swearing even more.
Yeah, like he's nuts.
Yeah. Then she called the police.
Of course.
When the police arrived, they asked John if he actually had poured soap into his girlfriend's mouth. He not only admitted to it, but also claimed that he quite often did it to himself out of respect for his parents, who used to slip him memos under the door. Oh wait, that wasn't there. I made up that last part. Okay, but I gotta tell you, he does sound like one of these guys who as a child was hit on the head with a Bible every night and now believes Adam and Eve rode dinosaurs 3,000 years ago.
You had to get that in. That was a previous discussion. No, his parents abused him, and therefore he felt it was okay to continue the abuse, either to himself and to others.
Well, here's the payoff.
Horrible.
The police were not impressed with John's dedication to clean language. He was arrested on a domestic battery charge.
Well, you think? Well, of course he was. Why, were you a little confused about that? You thought maybe it was okay?
Well, no, I didn't think it was okay, but I thought, you know, domestic battery for squirting soap.
That was very severe and dangerous and horrible, and yes. And I would have called the police on him, and I would have had him removed permanently.
Now, mind you, this John is no angel himself. Apparently he's been arrested several times.
Yes, he's a nut.
2006, drug possession attempting to elude police.
There you go.
2008, drug possession again, attempting to elude police again.
There you go.
And then drug possession in 2011. I guess he finally realized he wasn't good at eluding police. And get this, the article had a quote from his parents.
Yes.
Regarding his line about washing out his own mouth with soap out of respect for his parents. They said, quote, "A much better way to show your respect would be to clean up your life and stop getting arrested."
There you go.
End quote.
Yeah, there you go. Another nut.
But the fact that he feels the need for this self-flagellation to wash his own mouth out with soap,
It's horrible.
I would say he was brought up in a bubble.
Well, no, he was abused as a child, probably.
You know, Russ over there, he's trying to get the circulation going in his arms.
I would suspect.
It's like about 50 degrees in here.
Yes, no, go on for your next story.
Oh, okay. I will indeed. Oh, this is a woman and a husband. They were taking a quiz in the magazine Cosmopolitan
Sorry, I'm talking to myself. Yes, go on.
regarding ex-lovers.
Yes.
Also, they were drinking at the time. Now, apparently, one or more of the husband's answers about his ex-lovers ticked her off. They got into an argument. She started swearing. He told her to watch her language. Oh, that was the other story. Okay, they got into an argument. I'm kidding. I knew that. The wife says her husband threw 2 knives on the floor and told her to stab him. He starts to walk away. What does she do? She picks up one of the knives and stabs him in the back. Now, he survived, and she was charged with aggravated assault. Why not attempted murder? I don't know, but aggravated assault was the charge.
Okay.
And she stabbed him in the back. Now,
After he told her to do it.
according
Which
to
is
her,
irrelevant, of course.
yes. Yeah. Remember what your parents used to say? Well, if Johnny told you to go play in traffic, would you do it? Of course, you probably didn't get that. But
No.
anyhow, so yeah, either way, he started to walk away. She stabs him in the back. But I mean, hey, you're young, you're drunk, you're in bed, you have knives, stuff happens. Well, I mean, the back isn't going to stab itself. But the point is, it was done over a Cosmopolitan article regarding your ex-lovers. So I thought that might lead us to a discussion. Do you think a discussion between a couple like this is beneficial to a relationship? How much does each person need to know about the other's past sex/love life?
Are you serious? You don't know
Yeah.
how I feel about that? You don't know?
Well, I can guess. Because you're, other than your political views, you're very enlightened, you're open, you are intelligent, you are
Thank you.
smart,
Yes, yes.
you are secure, you're not a jealous person. I think you would probably welcome a discussion like that. Unfortunately, as we can tell by this article, not all women are as secure or as open, and apparently something he said in response to this quiz angered her enough she stabbed him in the back.
Every relationship I've had, I've tried to include my new, potential husband, my new relationship into my life and into my, and I'm a sum total of all of my experiences. And so I want to hear all about your past. I'll tell you all about my past. I have
See,
nothing to...
You have a different approach. Most couples, when they get together, let's say you and another person, would have a discussion about past lovers. Not with you, because your past lovers are always there in the house with you.
That's not
So
true.
it wouldn't be a discussion. It would be, I don't know, ask him.
No, but I don't know what the right thing to do is. I would certainly think that talking about everything is okay, and I have nothing to hide. I mean, there's no reason not to
Well,
talk
again,
about
like
it.
I said, you're very open.
But, and every guy I have been with, I have had open discussions with them. I mean, Troy welcomes it. I can list who doesn't have a
That's not
problem.
necessary.
That doesn't have a problem,
We don't need
except
this.
one who was very, very significant to me. And he said that is the reason for the demise of our relationship, the fact that I talk too much about, which I didn't talk any more to him than any other time in my past to somebody. But he couldn't handle it. He was insecure, and he said it was inappropriate, and he couldn't handle it. And the only thing I ever said to him was that he was the best, actually.
Really?
Yes, I mean, I never said anything complimentary to anybody else. It was
That's funny.
derogatory.
That's funny, you said the same thing to me.
Well, I met him after
Hey,
you.
it works.
I met him after you. But
So what are you saying? He was better? I don't like where this is going. I'd like to think that I was the first, the biggest, and the best.
you know who everybody wants to think that. But you know who I'm talking about.
Of course.
Yes, and he couldn't handle it. And it was a huge issue in my life. And I didn't get it. I just couldn't understand because I'm just trying to include you. I'm trying to make
So
you a
you go
friend.
along with this total honesty theory. See, a lot of people think that you shouldn't tell everything, that it's okay to have some secrets, and I guess it would depend on the individuals involved.
Well, I think it depends upon your secrets too. Where I've had a very uneventful life. I mean, there's no secrets. I lived with this person for a few years, and
there was that time you drove to Mesquite naked.
Well, but I'm not ashamed of that. And I don't even remember it. I don't really even remember.
You forget there was a third occupant in the car with us, alcohol.
Oh, well,
No wonder you don't
not
remember.
in the car, but before we left. But that was still in Laughlin. It wasn't in Mesquite, by the way.
I thought you didn't remember it.
Oops.
Wow. See, I said, I wish I could say I said Mesquite on purpose to trip you up. Yeah, that's what I did. I knew it was Laughlin.
But speaking about having a glass or two of wine first, that has never altered my sexual behavior, ever.
Really?
Yeah, I would have.
Well, that's because you don't get to the point where you kick windows out of the back seat of cop cars.
You bet.
You control yourself. I have never once, ever, seen you falling down drunk.
Oh,
ever.
never in my life. Never, I've never been.
Now, mind you, you have a fairly high capacity for alcohol. I mean, I don't know if the bar is stocked enough to get you to that point.
No, you are comparing that to you. You're comparing that to your level of endurance, and you have none.
Well,
you have no tolerance whatsoever.
I know, one drink and I get a buzz.
Yes.
Can I say that word?
Yes, it's fine. But you have no tolerance whatsoever, and that's why you think that. So I can have 3 glasses of wine, and yes, I'm fine.
Okay, I have a question. Did
Yes.
you and I have that discussion about past lovers, past sexual experiences?
Absolutely, I have with everyone I've ever been with.
I'm
I
not
talk about
asking
my
about
past.
everyone else. I'm
No,
narrowing
with
this
you,
down to me.
yes, with you and everyone else I've ever been with.
How did I respond?
You were fine. I never had a problem with anyone except this one
Can you
individual.
keep this directed at me? You always, I have a problem with, screw everybody else. I'm trying to focus this on me. This
you
is
say
an
that word?
ego thing here, okay? Feed my ego. Stop bringing every other man into this discussion.
You were fine. You were fine. And I probably said, which was, I'm trying to think, that you were the absolute epitome. You were the best. You were the perfect example of.
Go on.
And so there was no, as I said that to this other guy years after you, and that didn't, still it wasn't good enough.
What part of focusing this conversation on me
No,
don't
I
you
got it.
understand?
I slipped there for a second.
Do I
Yes.
need to give you a note?
Yes, no,
under
no.
the door? I have a question for you.
Under the door.
Do you know how many men you've slept with?
Of course.
Really?
Yeah.
You know the exact number?
Of course.
How many?
I'm not going to say.
Oh, come on.
I'm not going to say. But of course I know.
Why?
Because. But
You're open.
I'm very open.
Okay. More than, less than 20.
Oh, less.
Really?
Yeah, less than 20.
And you're embarrassed less than 20? I'd be embarrassed to say.
Well,
That's why you don't want to say, because it's so few.
I have never slept with a guy that I didn't know for 6 months, at least 6 months. And I have never.
Oh, you are so mistaken.
I'm trying to think. Wait a second. I'm trying to think. You. No, that's
We
not
didn't
true.
know each other 6 months.
Well, wait a second. We met in August.
And we slept together in, let's see.
January?
August.
No, we did not. You got to be kidding me. We did not. You didn't even make a pass in August.
No, I don't think it was that soon. But...
No, January. Yes, it was. It was when I'm.
Oh, yeah, but when we met, we were both with other people. You can't count that. I'm
Well, I
talking
knew
about
you
from the
6
time we
months.
went out on our first date.
Which was August. We went to the barge at Caesar's Palace, and with Joe and that other girl, I can't think of her name. The four of us went there, and then the time that we were intimate was in January.
Okay. In these discussions about past sexual experiences and past
Yes.
lovers, how detailed should you get in your description? Should you get into particulars or just stick to the abstract?
Well, I don't have any problem, and I want to hear everything from, if you want to talk about it, I'll listen to, I don't know, it's interesting conversation. Everyone's had a past, but I've heard other sides of it, that you shouldn't talk about it, and you should leave something to, so I don't know. I don't know what the right or wrong is. I just know that I have, and because I don't.
Now, the
nothing to be
one
ashamed of.
person that you had a problem with, who couldn't handle it,
Yes.
even though you told him he was the best,
Yes.
can you imagine if you told him he wasn't?
And he
Good
was.
grief.
He was.
Suicide by alcohol enema.
He was wonderful. The thing is, well, I forgot what I was going. I was going to say something and I forgot. Darn.
Well, maybe it'll come back, but from this article on this college.
Oh, I know what I was going to say.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
No, I know what I was going to say is that I also, whoever I have slept with, I lived with for at least 3 years, 3 to 4 years.
Say that again.
And almost everybody, almost that I have been intimate with, I have had a serious relationship, live-in relationship with.
So you never had a one-night stand?
No.
You don't know what you're missing. What are you doing tonight? Sometimes frivolous, meaningless sex can be quite satisfying.
No, I can't imagine that.
Like my father said, you don't pay the girl for sex, you pay her to leave after. Dad had a point. Okay, from this article on the Cosmopolitan Quiz, it
Yes.
took me to another story.
Okay.
Actually, it wasn't a story, it just asked a question.
Yes.
And people responded. Would you date your best friend's ex? That was a dirty laugh. Which, not that there's anything wrong with that, but I find that one of your more appealing.
You're saying
attributes.
that to my best girlfriend,
Yeah.
would I date her ex?
Yeah.
I would ask her how she felt about it.
Okay,
But I have,
I think that's honorable.
yes, but I have been in situations that were sticky, but not on that side, but with
What side do you refer? To what side do you refer, dear?
where I have maybe dated the guy's best friend after. I've never done that to a girlfriend. No, ever, never.
Oh, so you're changing it to say,
Yes.
would you date your ex's best
Yes.
friend, not your best friend's ex. Okay, well, how about your ex's
Yes.
best friend?
Yeah, that's
We can do it either way.
right. That I would do if the relationship was over years and years and years.
So you'd have a time factor.
Yes,
In other words, you wouldn't do it the week or two after.
absolutely not.
One of the comments I read said that you should leave it the amount of time that the people went together. If they went together for 6 months,
I've heard
you
that.
don't do anything for 6.
Right.
But then, if they went together for 3 years, or even if they were together for 20 years,
Yes.
you gotta wait 20 years before you date them? No.
Right, right. But I was with this person for 3 years, and then it was like 8 years later that I was with his best friend.
Another criteria could be when that other person becomes involved with someone else,
Yes.
and they're not alone anymore.
Oh, well, yeah, that's, usually after me, they
I'm
never.
not saying,
Usually after
Go
me, they
ahead.
never have another relationship. You're the exception, I understand, but
hold
mostly.
it, after you, they never, you ruin them that bad?
Very often.
That's not a real good thing to put on your resume.
Do you know I've never had a guy cheat on me?
After I
Ever?
have so they say. Although that's true,
No.
I never did.
No, well, if anyone would have, it would have been you. But nobody did. No one has.
Now wait a minute.
No, if anyone would have, it
That,
was you.
that was cold.
That's true.
If anyone would have cheated on me, it would have been. By
Yes.
the way, folks, we are rapidly running out of time here, and I don't see anybody on the phone. Even after I opened the door for you to discuss politics. What? Are you afraid? Are you afraid of these wacky views Victoria seems to think I have? Is
Oh,
that
he
why you're
does.
not coming?
Oh, trust me, he does.
Well, then you'd think they'd want to challenge me on it. Oh, no, it's only, we only call when we know the host is going to agree with us. Well, what do you call that? I think in some circles, cowardice would be
The
right.
side that you take is you're so emotional about it. It's not logical, you're just emotion. And that's what's, on top of everything else, is very disturbing.
I'm an emotional kind of guy.
Yes, you are.
I can snap at any minute.
That's
No.
true. That's
It's
true.
not true. Well, is there anything wrong with bringing, I mean, if you don't bring emotions into it, what do you bring?
Yes, but it's all emotional. It's not logic. It's
But
emotion.
you do understand that that emotion is fueled by passion, which is fueled by belief, which is fueled by fact.
Well, other than political, I like the passion that exists inside of you.
Well, see?
Yeah.
Okay, forget that, folks. We don't want to discuss politics. I think I just scored a point there. I may be mistaken.
I mean, not that I've experienced it in the last 17, 18 years, but
Well, no,
but thinking back,
you chose to deprive yourself. You surround yourself with all your exes, but not me. Which begs the question: why wasn't I included in that circle?
I didn't know. I didn't have your number. I didn't know where you were.
Oh, come on.
Oh, I didn't know how to reach you. And you was very scary. We ended
That time you
bad.
saw me and I was running away, you knew where I was. You just had to follow.
You were running into a Home Depot when I saw you. 5 years after we broke up, I saw you in a parking lot, running, looking at my car and running into Home Depot. As I was in my car in the parking lot, going, "Is that Douglas?"
I had a critical home project I was about to get to. It necessitated getting to that Home Depot as quickly as possible. You see that? See?
What?
Still, no calls.
Yes, I'm disappointed in that.
What do you think? What do you think we need to do? Go ahead, say something. Throw them some more red meat. Tell them how great Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan are. Go ahead. We'll see if that works.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. It's not that they're so wonderful. It's the other guy is so horrific. That's what's that's the thing that's scary. But
Horrific?
anyway, yes.
Your life has been horrific the past 4 years. I thought your life had been pretty good.
Well, if you have to look at it, which is better now or 4 years ago, no, it's way better 4 years ago.
Really, when George Bush was president? Even Republicans don't say that.
It was
Of
still
course
better.
you're better off 4 years ago than you were now than you were 4 years ago. George Bush isn't president
No,
anymore.
not you said it backward. Anyway,
But you knew what I meant.
But we're not on. But we're not on long enough. I think that's the problem. Another hour should do it.
You think that's it?
Yeah, I think that we.
So you think the people are not calling because they're waiting for the second hour, even though they know we only have one? Okay, I can buy that.
I think if we were on longer, but it's just a short thing. They forget it's just Saturday and it's.
Well,
sandwiched
I
in
got an
between.
idea. I got an idea. Rumor has it the afternoon host is no longer on the air Monday through Friday.
Yes.
What say we just show up Monday and commandeer the station? Then we'd have 3 hours a day to do with what we please. And you have a built-in audience of people who are not used to being able to call a local show at that time of the day, who all of a sudden would be.
True. That's.
I mean, it is just an audience ripe to be plucked.
Right, yeah, you got a good point.
So if we get here, say, 2:30ish Monday, Jim can show us how to lock the studio door before we leave today. We commandeer the station, bingo!
It isn't
Yeah,
a date.
it seems like a bit of an extreme measure just to get phone calls. But I think overall, the plan has merit. What do you think?
Who knows? Yeah, yeah. If you're willing, I'm willing.
Okay, 2:30, maybe we should make it 2.
I think we should make a phone call first.
It's been a while since I commandeered anything. I might be a little rusty, you know? Anyhow, 2-5, we don't even have enough time to give out the phone numbers.
Oh, do it anyway.
Why? There's a minute left. Go ahead, you talk for a minute.
Give me
We're talking about dating your best friend's ex or your ex's best friend.
Have you ever done that?
Yes, I have.
Well, I know the situation. You were in a sticky
Well,
triangle.
I've had that happen to me too.
Yes,
The
yes.
fellow who was the best man at my wedding,
Yes.
my first one,
Right.
ended up dating my ex-wife.
Yes, before me. But the thing is that you were already like divorced 5 years, because that's what he would tell me. He'd say, "What's he so upset about? It was a 5-year span."
Yeah, but there was more to that situation. I mean, there was a kid involved, and there was, all sorts of
No,
stuff.
you
Anyhow,
were-
we can't get into it now because we are out of time. Hey, folks, chew on what I just gave you for a while. We'll be back here Monday afternoon commandeering the station. Join us then.
No.
Until then, you take care.